Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dragon Valley map reimagined in Battlefield 4. This map is playable for a limited time in Battlefield 4 CTE, and it's perfect timing as well because it is the 10-year anniversary of Battlefield 2 in which this map was first shown. It's never been remade in any Battlefield game since, so this map truly is a classic. It's a beautiful reimagining of Dragon Valley, and some of the hilltop temples can now be rendered in much higher fidelity and expanded for more engaging and interesting infantry firefights. That being said, the map has never really been known for its infantry combat, and it's much more heavily focused on aerial combat and tank combat. Each team gets 2 stealth jets, 1 attack helicopter, 1 scout helicopter, and 1 transport helicopter. So aside from the attack jets, you pretty much get everything. There's also a lot of bridges you can destroy in this map, and one of the coolest things is that you can actually repair them afterwards using a repair tool. The map features 8 capture points that are spread out pretty far apart from each other. The 2 central capture points are the closest together, and they probably offer the best infantry combat because there's a lot of tree cover in that area, but that pretty much goes for nowhere else on this map. Everything else is pretty open and exposed and features lots of destructible buildings that vehicles can just hammer away at, and after some time, a lot of the capture points will not have much cover at all. The central mountain with the temple on top also divides the river and provides a nice bit of cover for people in helicopters that are looking to dodge stingers. If you're driving around in a tank, chances are your engagement distances are going to be pretty extreme. Oftentimes you'll find yourself shooting in other tanks that are separated by a massive body of water. So there's going to be a lot of long-range tank warfare and probably a lot of long-range lock-on warfare as well. The sea capture point, which resides on the central temple, is without question going to be one of the most valuable points on the map. It's got good cover for infantry to hide in, and anybody with stingers and anti-air weapons are going to be able to take down air vehicles all around the map. It also basically acts as a hub to get to a lot of other capture points. E is the closest capture point to that, but it unfortunately has very, very little cover that you can use, and all the cover is destructible. So once that cover is gone, you will see a lot of infantry spawning out in the open, and I spawned there a number of times, just random spawns on the point that put me in perfect line of sight of a whole firing squad. So probably my least favorite capture point on the map, and I think it could use a lot more cover, possibly a few bits of indestructible cover. One thing that really brought back memories was the fact that maps and game modes were designed a bit differently back in Battlefield 2. Pacing of shooters in general was a lot slower back in the day, especially in the Battlefield franchise. You were expected to spend a lot more time running between capture points and really picking your path carefully, because if you pick the wrong path, it puts you out in the open for too long, you'd almost guarantee get sniped or shot up by larger vehicles. I found myself spending a lot of time running around as infantry in this map, really trying to get to new capture points, and the capture points are so far away that if you are playing as an infantry class and you see a flag that is adjacent to your flag burning, chances are you're never going to be able to get to that flag before the enemy team actually captures it. And that really is something that you have to get used to on this map. I remember fighting for one of the endpoints. There was a cool infantry firefight. We finally captured it, and then we got it, and we just kind of stood there like, where do we go now? The next capture point is so freaking far away. It almost seems like a suicide mission to get there. In fact, it almost seemed faster just to hit the suicide button and respawn at a different capture point so we could get to the action faster. Now, alternatively, if you like flying helicopters, this is probably going to be one of the best maps. Sure, there's going to be 2 stealth jets that you have to worry about, but your team is also going to have 2 stealth jets, so there's going to be a lot of aerial combat, but also a lot of good cover for helicopters and a lot of wide open areas for killing infantry. In fact, it's going to be a chopper pilot's heaven flying around this map. Yeah, the central point can be a doozy, but if your team takes it over and you have infantry support there and you don't have to worry about anti-air attacking you from the central point, then you're pretty much going to reign supreme. Without question, this map is going to need at least 64 players to feel full. There was a few times I went to some capture points, started burning them down by myself at a very slow rate. Nobody ever spawned on it, no helicopters came flying by, no tanks came driving by to check up on it. Captured the point and moved on to the next point without incident. That's pretty much the last thing you want to see happen in a Battlefield game. So as long as there's 64 players, hopefully that kind of situation can be avoided at least a little bit. Layout wise, I would say it's most similar to Giants of Karelia, which offers a lot of outdoor vehicle oriented gameplay. I would say it's actually a lot better designed than Giants of Karelia, and perhaps even a little bit more infantry friendly, as that map had very little outdoor cover for infantry, whereas Dragon Valley at least has some, even if it is mostly destructible. Now choke point wise, I can see this map having some issues because it is long and narrow with lots of vehicle support. If one team gets a good foothold, they can potentially spawn camp the other team, so that could definitely be an issue. Once we captured a point closest to the US spawn, it was fairly easy to lock on and shoot down any area vehicles coming in from the US side of the map. Now I would like to say something that has nothing to do with the quality of this new Dragon Valley map, and more about the choice of the Dragon Valley map. DICE has been taking a lot of polls from the community multiple times now, asking us what kind of maps we want to see re-envisioned in Battlefield 4. None of these times have they taken our actual top picks of the maps. Grand Bazaar and Karkand have consistently been some of the community's top choices, and it's not surprising considering how few infantry-oriented maps there are in Battlefield 4 compared to Battlefield 3. Tallying up the maps between both games, Battlefield 3 has 41% maps that are predominantly dominated by infantry, whereas Battlefield 4 only has 20% of its maps that I would consider dominated by infantry. This is a huge shift, and clearly the community wants more infantry-oriented maps. I got nothing against the classic style of playing Battlefield. The problem is that there's tons of those maps already in Battlefield 4, and just not very many that show off some awesome urban infantry combat where the infantry actually have a huge advantage over vehicles. Anyway, Dragon Valley is a solid map and it showcases the classic Battlefield game style. Unfortunately, it just isn't a representation of what the majority of people actually wanted to see. Now, if you want to check out this map, you got to do it quickly because it's only going to be in CTE for a limited time for a feedback session. Beyond that, we're going to just have to wait until the map is finally launched. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing out.